Hello everybody, my name is Necroxis. Apologies for this being a later upload. Usually on the cinematic days where I know something's coming, these come out a little earlier. Not that anyone cares, but here in Illinois, even though it's the middle of November, it's incredibly hot right now, and I couldn't really sleep last night, so I overslept. So either way, today is the pre-patch for Shadows of, oh my god, I almost said Shadows of War, for Shadowlands, the new World of Warcraft's expansion coming in 2 weeks. And we got a cinematic where Nathanos dies, apparently. We've known for quite a while now that Nathanos was going to be a world boss in the pre-patch. And people who tested out that content said that when he hit like 10 or 20%, a cinematic was supposed to play that hadn't played. So here we go. I don't know what to expect with this. I'm hoping I know they're not going to kill him off because he has some of the most insane plot armor, which may or may not be related to the fact that the head narrative developer seems to really like him and maybe is like a fan insert. Like, I really hate that notion, but at this point, the fact that he's still alive kind of is suspicious to me. So we'll have to see what happens. So we're going to watch it now. This takes place in the Western Plaguelands at the Nathanos Maris Stead, which is where you fight him in vanilla when you have to kill him for a quest. So we'll just see what happens. Based on the preview, it seems to be the preview that was out, a week ago. It's probably going to be Tyrande who kills him, which is appropriate, but I guess we'll have to see. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, now.
Come on! Is this the best you can do?
Oh, shit. Oh, I love what her arrows look like.
Oh, now it's getting interesting.
Oh my god, look at her. Oh! That was cool. Fuck yo dogs, bitch. Ah yes, 2 characters known for being strong melee fighters, and not archers fighting with melee weapons. Owned. Oh shit.
Your power has grown.
Where is she?
With him, of course. In the darkest place.
Simp!
Along with every soul burned to ash in your precious tree.
Where is she?
Ooh, she's fucking scary, dude.
Go on. Kill me. You'll send me right to my lady. Beyond the veil, she's shattered. Oh, Tyrande. High Priestess. Night Warrior. Completely powerless to stop the count.
Got him! Oh my god, that her... Forteldrassil, bitch. And I love the music. Callback. Everything about Tyrande is just great. Here's the part where people get upset at me, because I am annoyed that fucking Nathanos is still going to be alive, again, in Shadowlands. Like I said, I expected it to be a thing, but for fuck's sake, he's just a bad character, man. Like, he's so one-dimensional. He has no sides to him. Like, everything about... Okay, so there was some really interesting... I mean, not really interesting, but at least somewhat interesting development for him in the last book, Shadows Rising, where it seemed like he began to realize Sylvanas only cared about her... Oh my gosh, I can't speak. So that Sylvanas only cared about him, Nathanos, as long as he was able to do what she wanted him to do. And in Shadows Rising, when he can't kill Bwonsamdi because they fail, she basically banishes him away from him. And she says, I'm going to the Shadowlands and you're not coming with me. She doesn't say that, but that's basically what she's saying. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe because they've done things like in the Battle for Azeroth introduction in Lordaeron, when she suggests killing all her own troops, Nathanos, like, visibly doubts her. He doesn't say anything, but you can see it on her face. That's where she lifts his chin up and is like, believe in me, or whatever. Like, simp for me. Give me $20 in my Patreon, or whatever she says to him. And then he like is back on her team. And I was like, oh, they're finally going to deal with this fucking plot thread that they've been developing for so long, that Nathanos is beginning to realize he's kind of in like a super toxic relationship where all the bad shit's just going to keep happening to him and all the good shit's going to keep happening to her. And then they're just like, nah, we're not going to do it. Like, send me to my lady. And it's like, first of all, he should have died in Darkshore. That would have made Darkshore a victory for the Night Elves, which is a big contentious thing that Blizzard tried to claim it was, and it obviously was not. But again, he should have died here, too. Like, permanently die, I say. Yes, he's an undead whose soul will go to the Shadowlands and blah, 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 blah. But the basic storytelling 101, the cocky, arrogant villain who always thinks they're going to win, the satisfying conclusion to that story as a reader or as someone witnessing the storyline is cocky villain gets fucked over or somehow loses, and right before they die, they realize, oh shit, it was all for naught. That is why Gul'dan is the best villain in Warcraft. Both his main universe counterpart and his alternate universe counterpart both have this same exact path of their character and including their ending. Gul'dan, thinking that he's so powerful that he can't be stopped, ends up just getting killed by random demons in the Tomb of Sargeras in the main universe. In our universe, Gul'dan, who thinks he can't be stopped, helped facilitate the invasion of the Legion of Azeroth, goes to the Nighthold, has the Eye of Aman'Thun, is about to summon Sargeras into Illidan's body, thinks he can't be stopped. Oh, Deus Ex Machina players show up and stop him, and then he's like, oh shit, it was all for naught, Illidan fucking Kamehamehas him and he's dead. Though that's why he's satisfying as a villain, because it's entertaining to watch his arc go up, and it's entertaining to watch his arc crash when he loses. Nathanos has just been one note the whole time, like even from vanilla, he's just been, haha, I'm evil, fuck you, player. And then like every time he shows up, haha, I'm evil, fuck you, player, you're a piece of shit compared to me. And every single appearance is exactly the same, nothing ever changes. These little tidbits that we get here and there that maybe he's like realizing that he's just being used by Sylvanas never goes anywhere. It's all thrown to the wayside, and it's just like, this sucks. Like, they've devoted so much time to this character. He was a main character in the last expansion. He was, if not a main character, then a strong secondary character in Legion. And it's gone nowhere. It's just, I'm a bad guy. Ha 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 ha. And even when you've beaten me and killed me, I'm just going to go to Sylvanas, and I will be happy. It's like, what? It's not satisfying for the player, the viewer. Like, it sucks. It's like literally the only thing they can do now, and I've advocated for this since we've known that he was going to survive dying here and going to the Shadowlands. The only possible way they salvage this character's storyline and arc is if in Shadowlands he becomes like this grotesque monster like Gorefiend was in Warlords of Draenor. After you fight him in Auchindoun, he jumps off the thing and then gorges on all the souls and becomes that big fat monstrosity. That's the only way to satisfyingly end this character now. For him to become this grotesque monster because, and it has to be because Sylvanas asks or demands him to do it, because she needs to be defended from us, the players, as we come to kill her, probably in the Maw raid, or the Sylvanas raid, or whatever they're going to do with that. Like, that's what needs to happen to him, and then after we kill him, he realizes in a cinematic, oh fuck, I was just used all along, and then he dies. Like, that's the only way to give this kind of character an appropriate send-off now, because they've ruined or ignored everything they've possibly set up very slightly or tried to do, like in the books, or like when Taryn Gregory does a little thing like making him question her visually in the Lordaeron cinematic, and the writers are just like, fuck it. He's just gonna simp for her even more now. And it's like, I try very hard not to feed into the, oh, Nathanos is Steve Denuzer's insert character, and that's why he keeps surviving to simp for Sylvanas. I don't think it's fair to him, and I think the people who do it are doing it in bad faith, just to hurt the company, but god damn, dude. When you have shit like this, where he should have been permanently dead twice over now and he still survives, if it's not proving that that idea is true, it's at least not dissuading people from thinking it is, which is almost just as bad. It's optics. Like I've said a lot of, like, very much recently in the last year or two with Blizzard, optics matter. And when you have a person, the lead narrative writer now, who has like all these instances where he basically is like LARPing as Nathanos on Twitter and shit, and he writes the short story where Nathanos goes from being a skeletal monstrosity into a handsome undead dude, and then that's when they really begin the Sylvanas and Nathanos romance subplot in the story. He started it. Like, all of these things together, and the fact that he's still fucking alive, like, it's bad optics. It's like, he should be dead. Any other good narrative would have killed him off by now. And it's annoying, because he's getting screen time as opposed to other characters who also should be getting screen time. Tyrande should be getting so much more, like, yes, she's the other main character in this, but she should be getting so much more screen time in this expansion and this story than she is right now. She's absent for 99% of 9.0 in Shadowlands. She shows up, in one trip where you go to the Maw, and they talk about her if you do the Night Fae Covenant storyline. But other than that, she's not in 9.0 at all. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, this is ridiculous. So, I don't know. Again, the cinematic's fine. The animations are great. The music is amazing. The set pieces, like, it feels like Taryn Gregory is really channeling, like, Alfred Hitchcock-esque. Like, if you freeze a frame, that could be like a picture. Because there's so many little scenes where it's like, if you just took a screenshot of this would be like an amazing poster. Like, there's a ton of scenes like that in this and most of his recent cinematics. So I really love that. It's just the story, man. I'm not blaming, Taryn Gregory. I'm blaming the fucking story sucks. It's so predictably unsatisfying, man. It's just, I wish they would do something more with it. So that's those are my thoughts on Nathanos. I think he sucks. I think he's probably the worst written character in the story. Which is impressive because Sylvanas is still around. But yeah, so Tyrande is interesting. Like I said, I sure wish they would have her be more part of the fucking game, because she's in like 1% of 9.0. So she better be a main character for the rest of the expansion going forward. Otherwise, what's the point of introducing the fucking Night Warrior storyline? Like, we see other Night Warriors in Ardenweald. They get more story time than the current fucking Night Warrior. And it's like, what is going on with this? And it's crazy to me. And I've seen people say, like, because if you look like the tattoos, I thought they were supposed to be tattoos. But I guess the markings around her face are, like, cracked now. And I always assumed, I was just giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying, like, oh, that was intentional because it's showing the Night Warrior's power eating away at her. But I've been looking online for, like, Blizzard people saying this, and I haven't found any. And I've also begun seeing people say, like, and I don't know because I don't have the beta, because I assume I'm on a blacklist from Blizzard now because I don't, gargle their nutsack on everything they do. But I've been told that the Night Warrior markings are bugged for certain characters still, and that Tyrande's model isn't changed. It's just not working right, and they just, like, keep using it like this. I'm hesitant to believe that, but I just thought it would be an interesting thing to bring up, because, like I said, I feel like if they would have mentioned it either out of the game or from another character, if they wanted to say, like, oh, look at her face, it's like she's being eaten away by the Night Warrior's power, and it's like, well, I'm fine with that as an idea, because they set that up, and they talk about that with the two Night Warrior guys in Ardenweald, the husbands. So I'm like, that's totally fine. But they never mentioned that specifically about like her facial features. Again, I thought those were supposed to be just like tattoos, but I guess they're markings of the Night Warrior now. So I don't know. I just figured I'd bring that up because I thought that was pretty interesting. Her owl is super cool. It has a name that I can't remember off the top of my head. Thorandur or something like that. I love that they updated the model to like that really cool Wicked looking one that she uses now. So yeah, I don't know. Like the imagery is great. I love that you can basically screenshot any moment during the cinematic and print it out and it'd be like an amazing poster in the background. Especially her walking out and walking back into the mist is like phenomenal with the bird. Her saying for Teldrassil underneath her breath was great. But besides that, you know, the music is amazing. Like the callbacks to the Teldrassil theme after the new theme of it when it's been destroyed, and Darkshore's theme post 9.1 or 8.1 or part of 8.1, whatever, is good. But Nathanos really drags down the story. What a surprise! Sylvanas and the people attached to her are really dragging the story down. It's almost like they should deal with this shit already and be fucking done with it, because it's making the story really not as good as it could be, in my opinion. And I see a lot of other people saying something pretty similar. Of course, you're going to have the Sylvanas simps. You know, I don't like to use that term anymore because I feel like it's been overblown. But in this case, it feels like it's appropriate. The Sylvanas simps just don't care if a story's good or not. They just want her to be in it. And they're like, if that's what frustrates me about WoW players. Like, they're like, oh, a character I like is in something, it must be good. Ajara was my second favorite character of all time, and I fucking hated 8.2 in Najjatar. I hated her raid, I hated her boss fight, I thought the end of it was stupid, and I hated that she was just like a part of a boss encounter in N'Zoth's raid, who then gets away because we just let her go, and then she's gone. It's like, wow, remember when you guys promised she'd be like the Gul'dan, where she'd have like a major role, and now she's gone, and she really didn't do anything? Sure, she freed N'Zoth, but that's only because there's they wrote some Xanatos Gambit nonsense storyline that made her be able to predict all these things she shouldn't have been able to predict to free him. So it's like, wow, great. So my point is, just because a character you like is in something doesn't mean it's inherently good. Like, can we critically analyze, like, the story? Like, I know that Blizzard doesn't give two shits about the story unless they want to use it to defend some terrible mechanic in their game, like not having covenant switching. And then all of a sudden, oh, it's an RPG and it's a choice, so that's what matters in RPGs, and that's why we're doing it. It's definitely not because we just want to force you to play longer and make multiple alts so that we can keep you subscribed. It's definitely because it's an RPG. Like, suddenly then, the fact that it's an RPG matters. And it's like, bitch, do you also know that, like, a core tenet of the RPG is, like, a fucking storyline and like, a consistent, well-told story is, like, the main thing of an RPG? But the Covenant locking system is why we have to have it, because RPGs have choices. But otherwise, fuck the story. We'll do whatever we want if it's cool. Critically analyze the media that you enjoy, because there can be great things and there can be bad things, and just because a character you like is in something doesn't inherently mean it's good. That's my point. So, the cinematic was fine for what it is. It's a culmination of frustrations that they're still not dealing with. And like I said, I explained how they could redeem this arc with Nathanos. I don't think they're going to do it, to be perfectly honest, because we have to keep him around for Sylvanas, who definitely isn't going to die either. Even though that should be the satisfying end to her story. But, so there we go. Anyway, let me know how wrong I am in the comments below and how much you hate that I spent so much time on it. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I don't take any of the comment stuff seriously. It's just fucking video games. It's Warcraft. Who gives a shit? But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys for the next cinematic, which probably won't be until the game comes out, which is just 2 weeks away. So, that's cool. Anyways, see you guys.